Born in 1943 in Marapiane near Hammanskraal, Mmakgabo Mmakgato Helen Sebidi came as a gift, isithunywa, a messenger into the world. Her names passed down from Abadala, the ancestors, meaning mother of animals and mother of rain, denoted unique ties with nature and foretold a gifted child whose talents would pass on messages from other realms. Mmakgabo's artistic journey began as she watched and learned from her grandmother, who was a traditional painter. As she grew, she nurtured this talent and eventually enrolled at the White Studio, an art school established by the pioneering black painter John Moll in Sophiatown to receive her formal art education. With a solid foundation in painting technique and composition, Mmakgabo's art underwent a significant transformation, attracting attention within the art world. Her work brings together the two worlds of her rural upbringing and rhythms of the city in works of a great visionary and prophetic power. In 1989, Mmakgabo was involved in a devastating car accident. While lying in a hospital bed, she received a vision, messages from Abadala, calling upon her to continue the work of painting and crafting, showing and whispering to her the messages she was to include in her works. Waking from her dreams, she went back home and began to create relentlessly, using colors and textures to bring the voices of her ancestors to life. In 1991, she was invited to Sweden, and this was a marvelous opportunity to share the messages from Abadala with the world. Mmakgabo would step into her role as isithunywa and fulfill this call to play a role in the transition of South Africa. Off she went with her work to Nyköping for a program on cultural work with developing countries. Here, she was promised an exhibition and opportunities to connect with Swedish artists. No exhibition took place. She left her artworks in the care of the organizers with the hope they would eventually be seen by the world. A year went by and still, no exhibition took place. When she requested the work to be returned to her, her art was declared stolen. She was given nothing but a box of beadwork, a heart-wrenching betrayal of trust. Over the past 33 years, there have been numerous attempts to find these artworks, including this 1996 TV report. Following the disappearance of Mmakgabo's artworks, a police report was filed and the school was thoroughly searched. Peter de Vuren, the organizer of the trip and custodian of the artwork, was contacted. However, he insisted he knew nothing of their whereabouts. The police, deeming theft unlikely, closed the case, yet Mmakgabo, undeterred, never stopped her search. Abadala, always faithful, in May 2023, caretaker Jesper Osterberg uncovered Mmakgabo's treasures at Nyköping Folk High School, a serendipitous rediscovery wrapped in the original packaging, bringing a long-lost chapter into the light. Karen von Ver was told of the incredible rediscovery and passed the news on to Kim Berman, who called Mmakgabo to tell her that her artworks have been found. "Oh, Nkosi yami, my babies, they have been found. Lisedi," she wept upon hearing this news. And so began the journey to bring Mmakgabo's lost art home. In October 2023, Gabriel Bard flew to Nyköping to bring Mmakgabo's creations home. By December 2023, the artworks found their way back to Mmakgabo, a triumphant return, not just of paintings, but of a resilient spirit that defied the test of time.
So in 1990, Mmakgabo travels to Sweden and ends in Nyköping, which is about 150 kilometers south of Stockholm. There she is hosted by Peter de Vuren and his wife, and is located at a folk high school in town, where she meets a number of artists and ends up traveling around Sweden for about 6 weeks, at the end of which an exhibition doesn't happen. And so she asked that the artworks stay in Nyköping in order for what was an incredibly vital exhibition to extend cultural diplomacy and dialogue across continents between South Africa and Sweden, which in many respects was happening to a great extent. But this was an important moment for that to be extended. And so the artwork was left in Peter de Woon's care. There he holds onto it, and from this moment, the facts become quite murky, and unfortunately, we'll never know exactly what happened. But about a year later, Mmakgabo requests that the artwork is sent back to her. A box is sent, but no art of hers is contained within this box. Only beadwork that was also brought along to exhibit next to these artworks that sit in front of us today.
As the layers of protective packaging are peeled away, a symphony of colors, emotions, and memories are reborn. Mmakgabo, Mmapula, Mmakgato, Helen, Sebidi, surrounded by her rediscovered masterpieces, is almost transported back to that hospital bed, hearing the voices of Abadala. She is visibly moved. In Mmakgabo's home, surrounded by the vivid hues of her pastel drawings, we witness not just the return of stolen canvases, but the rekindling of a creative flame that refused to be extinguished. The emotional reunion is more than a reclamation of art. It is a celebration of the human spirit's ability to endure, create, and transcend.